Hello, 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 my fellow EWATers. This is Shanti Kumaraswamy Street calling from London for lesson 31 of Wednesdays with EWAT. I hope you can see me and that I am coming live to you from London. I am just checking. Okay, good. It's beaming out. So Facebook is beaming out into the live lesson. Welcome, everyone. It is the 19th of July, Wednesday, and this is lesson 31 of Wednesdays with EWAT. So glad you can join me. Again, let me know where you're from, what time it is with you. Let me know if you're a regular to this class. I'd love you to say hi. And if you're new to this lesson, welcome to Wednesdays with EWAT. So what are we talking about today? Well, today we're going to be talking about emails and exactly what? The right email etiquette when writing business emails. Whether it's in your language, but of course, because we're here talking about business English, we're going to be looking at etiquette for business emails in English. Hi Eliane, lovely to see you. And where are you from? Remind me, because I think you've been in this class before, haven't you? Now, it's just before we start today's lesson, I want to remind you that if you haven't joined my community of EWATers, my EWAT professionals, then I'd recommend that you do, because not only will you have access to this lessons every week, but you'll also get access to my business idioms. You'll also get to have my regular blog posts sent directly to your inbox, and most important, you'll also have my free ebook, which is the guide on the 10 best ways for you, the most effective ways to become a confident and effective communicator in business with English. Hi Genevieve, I hope I've pronounced that correctly. Hi Rakesh, lovely to see you all. As I always do, I'm just going to go on to Facebook page and refresh it so that I can see who's there and so that I can interact. So let me remind you, so today we're talking about business email etiquette and what you need to do to make your business emails, especially when you're writing them in English, professional and that they look also serious. So in this class today, I have 6 tips I want to share with you. And so to help you with your business emails. Any of you, how often do you have to write business emails at the moment in your working life? Please let me know in the chat box. How many of you spend a lot of time writing business emails in English? Hi Roberto, so glad you could join the class. So, as I say, we're talking business email etiquette in English. So, my question to all of you is, how often do you write business emails in English in a day? So, give me a percentage. You know, do you have to spend 20% of your time writing emails? And when you're writing those emails, are you writing them to clients? Or are you writing them to colleagues, co-workers? Let me know in the chat box. I'm waiting. Okay, so a lot of my clients, 90% of your time, Rakesh, is spent writing emails. Wow, okay, and is that to customers, to co-workers, to friends? So are your emails then, thank you, Roberto. I'm getting I'm getting messages of love from, where's Chicho's, Roberto? I'm not too sure. Are we talking Chicho's in Kuala Lumpur? Genevieve, you're saying you're a secretary and you're always having to reply to emails. Eliane, you're saying 70% of your time is spent writing business emails. Ibrahim, you are normal people, so you don't write business emails. Are you trying to tell me that people who write business emails are not normal? What do you define as normal? That is a very interesting question. I'd like to know. I'd like to think that I'm also normal, and yet I have to write business emails in English. Gabriela, you don't have to write very often. Okay, Roberto's just said that Ciccios, is an Italian restaurant in KL. Wonderful. Okay, right, people. Yes, Ileana, you're normal, right? Maybe business people who have to deal in business, we're not necessarily normal. Okay, let's look. Now, the thing is, I have a lot of clients that I teach, that I support and coach, who have to spend a lot of time writing emails. And when we talk about business writing, more often than not these days, it's email writing we're talking about. You know, most people have to do that as opposed to writing proposals or reports. Yeah, so the bulk of your business writing will be business emails. And so then when we look at how we're going to write in English, then we need to look at certain etiquette. And there is a certain style we expect. In today's class, I'm not really looking at plain English and the type of language you need. What I'm looking at is how you should structure your email, right? Okay, so Rakesh, you've just asked me that you have an idea. Would you like to share that in the chat box? Let me know. I'm in the meantime going to start with my 6 tips in English, in business email etiquette. The first one in any email etiquette to follow is to get the right salutation. What do I mean by that? When you start a business email, it is always very important to give the right salutation. So when you start an email, always start with dear sir, dear madam, or if you know who you're writing to, you know, dear Mr. or dear Mrs. Now, why I use the title is, of course, if we have if you have a formal email you're writing, perhaps you're writing to somebody you don't know, it's a new client, or it is a superior in your company, then I always say it is important to play safe and address them with their last name. So dear Mr., dear Mrs., and then follow that with the rest of your email. So that's the first salutation. The second salutation, of course, is where you would refer to the first person, their name, straight away. So, for example, dear Tom, dear Shanti, dear Rakesh, dear Rosie. Now, that is appropriate for your colleagues and your co-workers where you already have a working relationship with them. Or it could be clients you've already met and who have already asked you or, you know, invited you to address them by their first name. Now, in business English, when we talk about dealing with the British, that tends to be the same. Once you know people, then you can you know, address them by their first name. Different cultures have different ways, so obviously you have to adjust. But most cultures will use their first name. So dear John, dear Sally, dear Sarah, or dear Mr. or dear. I notice that some people write to me and they will sort of say dear ma'am. Now that is, I think, a very cultural thing. You can immediately, if you know who the person you're writing to is, just immediately address them as dear Mr. so-and-so, dear Miss. If you don't know their name, then you can just say dear sir or dear madam, as opposed to dear ma'am. We don't really say ma'am, we say madam in English. Rakesh, I will reply to you at the end of the class, okay? So I think you're talking about having a Facebook group. Yeah, I will talk to you about that later. Okay, hi. Oh, Sharon, thank you. Yes, I'm looking very bright. Yes, it's my red top. Okay, so and the last bit, the last salutation is where you are more informal, where you could say, hello, Tom, or hi, John, hi, Sally. Now that's more for informal, and that's where you would refer to colleagues, co-workers that you already know very well. You know, don't address that email to the first person you met and immediately say hi. There has to be a certain amount of formality when you're dealing with people in a business context. So don't say, you know, hi, you the first time you write to them, you go, oh, hi. No, if you want them to reply to you, then use the right formality. So it's what we call in business writing, the right register, formal or informal. So what is the right salutation? Think about who is your reader, who are you addressing, and decide, how do I have to be formal, neutral, or can I be informal? So that's tip 1. Get the right salutation. And the right salutation, if you're not sure, I always say be more formal than too informal. That way you don't get it wrong. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but this idea, and the problem is where we've learned in the WhatsApp and the more informal world is that people will address each other as hi, hey. Now, don't do that in a business context. Stay professional. And then later maybe you can reduce that formality. So that's tip 1. Get that right salutation. Again, Pranjal, hi versus hello. Exactly. So hi versus hello. Hello is more neutral. Hi becomes more informal. So say hello. You can say hello and that stays neutral. And that's become more acceptable in business writing and business etiquette. So that's not a problem. But this hi and this hey, no, not unless you've established already a good relationship with someone. And also you have to be mindful of the cultures you're dealing with. You know, if you're dealing with your own culture and you have an idea, there's a style, then okay. But if you don't know the other culture, you need to just be aware. And so be more polite first rather than rude. So there you go. That's tip 1. Get that right salutation. So the next one is, the tip 2 is to write in short paragraphs. So here we go. We are talking about email etiquette. So we got tip 1, get the right salutation. The second tip is to write in short paragraphs. Now, you might have a lot to write in a particular email, but just think, most of us receive an awful lot of emails in a day. And what email are you more likely to open? Are you going to open an email that has a lot of dense writing on it? You know, no spaces, nothing. It's all really, really dense. I mean, if you're going to, look at all that, you're busy, you're scanning and you look through and you skim and you think, oh, for goodness sakes, I have no time to read that email. I mean, it just looks too many words on the page. So you need to break it down. I'm just going to stop here. Rosie's saying in Italy we stick to the surname for, okay, so it's more formal. And that's interesting. So talking about the formality, different cultures have different formality when it comes to writing. So in business English, the formality is different. So that's why I was thinking about the cultures. Thank you very much for that, Rosie. Hi, Angeliki. Lovely of you to join us. So tip 2, as I say, keep it short. Keep your paragraphs short and space out the content of your email. So when you have your short paragraphs, maybe the most 2 or 3 sentences. Don't give these long paragraphs. So 2 or 3 sentences, maybe, not too long the sentences, and space it out. And if you need to, then perhaps do headings and bullet points if you've got to make a point about something or give people instructions or tell them what to expect next. So, for example, this morning I was sending a proposal to a client for a program I'm doing. So then what you're going to do is what I wanted to then is to bring their attention to certain points. So if I want to do that, think about what points you want them to see. So make it as clear so that their eyes zone in into the first points. So don't make it all one area so everyone has to work through it, but space it out. And space it out in such a way that it's very easy for the reader to read exactly what you're expecting them to do. Because as I've always said in my business writing courses, and I've said this before in these classes, is that you always have to think of your reader. Not just to make it easy for them to read your email, but especially if you're expecting your reader to respond, you need to make them want to respond. And so you've got to think about, to make it clear, what exactly do you want them to respond? It's not going to be to the entire email, but maybe there are some instructions. Maybe you need them to act on something. So make it clear. Maybe put certain things in bold, put some bullet points, make it really, really super clear. Okay, so short paragraphs are very, very important. Space it out. Don't make it all in one big block. I've received many emails like that, and to be honest, I tend to ignore them because it just makes my reading experience more uncomfortable. So think about that all the time. Okay, Jason, thanks so much for sharing my video. Great, thank you. So that is tip 2. Think about spacing out short paragraphs, making your email readable, visually attractive. Okay, good. So tip 3. Now, all emails, you might have various things that you need to do, but I always say to clients, if you're writing an email to someone, stick to one topic. Stick to one topic. You might have to write to your boss about a number of things. Maybe you're giving them an update on a project. Maybe you need to ask them to return something that, you send them a document and you need the document back, signed or whatever. And then finally, you need a couple of days off and you want permission from your boss. Now, if you put all 3 things in your email, your boss is not going to know how to follow that email, because what is the main topic of this email? How are you going to put your subject line? What's the subject line going to be? Because don't forget, in every email etiquette, put the subject line. Do not leave your subject line blank. So what's that going to be if you're going to include 3 different topics in that email? So don't, because also if someone wants to refer back to a particular email on a particular topic, they wouldn't be able to find that email thread because you were discussing too many things. So stick to always one topic. Whether it's an update on a project, then just write about that. Don't go and share 3 million different things. If you then have to ask some time off, then make it very clear, separate email with the subject line that is really clear. Because if you think about it, when you're looking for an email and you put it in your search box, often you'll put in the keywords and it'll come up as subject. And so sometimes, the subject is easier to find. So keep it. It sounds so easy, right? You're probably going, Shanti, oh God, it sounds so logical and, no, do you have to say this? But it'd be amazing how some of us, we have so much we need to put in that we put far too much into an email. So stick to one topic at a time. All right, great stuff. And now, so tip number 4. This is important, and I really cannot stress. Use capitals appropriately. What do I mean by capitals? Uppercase. Yeah. So, let me just before we move to that tip, Rosie is saying various topics of interest to me can be acceptable. Not if you're expecting a response from the person you're writing to. But if you say, listen, there are some topics I'd like you to look at, then put that in the subject line. So make it very clear in your subject line. But if you're asking your reader to respond to these different topics, then don't. Keep them into separate emails, because you're asking your reader to do too many things. So no. So to say, if it's one topic, then fine. If the topic is, say, for example, a project, and within that project you need a few people to fix it, or you have certain things that need to be dealt with for that project, then that's fine to put in, because you're just dealing with one topic, which is that project. I'm sorry, I'm just stopping here because Imran, hi Imran, very nice for you to join us. You're saying you've got difficulty in your reading module of IELTS. Okay, Imran, English with a twist, here at English with a Twist, I only concentrate on helping professionals become better, effective communicators in business English. I only specialize in teaching clients to be better communicators in business English. I do not teach and help my students prepare for the IELTS exam. So if you need that, you'll need to find another teacher to help you, because this is not my area of speciality. Okay, so hope best of luck finding another teacher for that. Right, okay, so let's go to tip number 4. So which is, as I was saying to you, using capitals appropriately. So we talk about capital letters or uppercase instead of lowercase when we're talking about a keyboard. Now, first of all, please, 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 the number of times I've received emails with people writing the entire email message in capital letters. Do not do that. Why? Because it sounds like you are shouting at me. Dear Shanti, could you please help me with... No need to shout. I don't need you to shout. But if you write to me in capitals, that just means you are shouting at me. Don't do that, because that is not going to get the response you're hoping. Because I'll just say, whoa, stay calm, calm down. Why are you shouting? I can hear you. So do not please do that. I've had a number of people, and I'm quite surprised sometimes by fellow teachers writing to me with big capital letters. Don't do that. Ever, ever. Secondly, if you're going to write, always make sure that your acronyms are in capital letters. So for example, things like the BBC, GDP, so gross domestic product. If we're talking about what other acronyms can you think of, people? Let me think. What acronyms can we, oh my goodness, the RSPCA. So any acronyms that you have, you need to make sure that that is always capitalized, okay? If some of you are having problems with the live connection, it could be your connection. I'm sorry. Maybe you want to refresh the page or something. Yeah. So capitalize all acronyms. So acronyms are the letters of every word. So as I say, BBC, RSPCA, USA, anything like that. So always capitalize that. Always start your sentences with a capital letter, including the letter I. I in English, I want, I need, is always with a capital I. Every time, no matter where it is in the sentence, it's always with a capital I. I've noticed that a number of people don't do that. And it's interesting because they go, oh, I never knew that. I didn't know. I thought it was only at the beginning of the sentence. No, the letter I is always, always in capitals. So you always need to do that no matter where it is in a sentence. Always start your sentences, and the start of a sentence is always in capitals. Do not put lowercase. So always make sure that you use your capital letters appropriately. Names of departments, names of countries, names of people is always in capital letters, especially, in English, always, always. So countries, towns, cities, always with capital letters. If you're not sure, always check a good dictionary, because that will tell you how you should do it, how you should write. It's just good etiquette. But even if you forget those are not so important. My biggest problem I have is please do not write to in capital letters. Okay, because that is really bad etiquette, because that just shows, you know, just says to people you're shouting at them. Please don't do that. So you know, so that's my important thing. If you're going to remember anything about capital letters, do not write your entire email in capital letters. Think about it, because it's also quite difficult to read. You know, if you try to do that and read something which is just in capital, it is quite hard. So please don't do that. This is me, teacher Shanti telling you this. All right, how are we doing? Okay, so tip 5. So we get to tip 5, and tip 5 is how to sign off your emails. Yeah, so signing off your emails is very important, because you made this effort, you've written all your email, and it's all great, and you had the right salutation, and don't end the email with nothing. Don't just like, you just finished, okay, I look forward to speaking to you, I look forward to receiving your email or your response, blah, 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 and that's it. Finish. The email ends. You think, well, that was a bit pathetic. No, always think about how you're going to end that email appropriately, correctly. So now, and it all again depends on the formality of your email. So remember tip 1 when we talked about the right salutation. Now you're thinking about how you're going to end that email depending on how formal your email was. So, for example, if you've written a covering email that goes with a job application, or that goes with an important proposal to a client, or a contract that you're sending to a client, and the people that you're writing to is someone that you don't know. Maybe you've been negotiating a contract with different people, but now you're writing to the HR department or the CEO of the company, and you've never met the CEO of the company, but they have to receive this. So if it's someone that you don't actually know, then you need to say, dear Mr. So-and-so, dear Mrs. So-and-so, and then you're going to end that email with the salutation of yours sincerely. Yours sincerely. That's very formal, but if it's someone you don't know, you need to stay formal, and it looks good. Particularly if you're, you know, it's an important document you send, it's a formal proposal, formal application form, then yours sincerely. If you don't know the people, so again, you've sent an application form to someone and you don't know who it is. So maybe it is to for example, to the university or to a department, you're applying to do a master's degree, you're applying to do a PhD, or you're applying for institute membership or something, and you don't know who it is. So it's a membership secretary or something. So you would address, initially your salutation would be dear sir or dear madam. And because you don't know their name, at the end when you sign off, you will say yours faithfully. So yours faithfully, because you don't know their name. Now, I have some clients, some people will say to me, Shanti, that's really old-fashioned, that's really formal, but it's still used. And although it's more used in letters, but emails there can be some very formal emails that you need to write. So then you need to make sure that you've got the right ending in your email. So yours faithfully, and then you write your name in full. So yours faithfully or yours sincerely for those formal emails. So yours sincerely, you know the person's name. Yours faithfully, you don't know their name. So you address them as dear sir, dear madam. The next one is if you're neutral and you know the person's name, and you know the person's name, you don't have to be that formal, then it's now become very acceptable to have, dear Mr. So-and-so, and then ending your email with a kind regards, best best wishes. So that is neutral and that is very acceptable in business emails now. Even if it's a superior, it's a client, and you've addressed them as Mr. and Mrs., you can still write and say, thank you so much for your time, kind regards, Shanti Kumaraswamy Street, or best wishes, Shanti Kumaraswamy Street. Yeah, so kind regards, best wishes are perfectly acceptable ways of ending your email. And you don't need more than that. You don't need a whole list. You can just use those and that would be fine. If you know the people very well, you've had a very good working relationship and the relationship is not more friendly now, then perhaps you could say you could still say best wishes, or I like to often end my emails with take care or have a great day. Try not saying have a nice day. Nice is a very lazy word in English, but have a great day. Hope you have a good day. Have a good week. Or, just take care. Or you can still say regards or kind regards, best wishes. I like take care. So, it's choosing those, and those would be with people who you're saying, hello, hi, or hi, John. Hope you're well, and then you're writing to them and say, look forward to hearing from you, or let me know what you think. Take care, Shanti. Yeah, so that gives you those different ways. So again, sign that email off correctly. Think about it again. Who's your reader? What is your relationship with your reader? And then decide. If you're not sure, then stay neutral. You can still say best regards, kind regards, best wishes, even to the most formal of people. But if it's super formal where you really don't know who they are, as I say to a membership secretary, then keep it yours faithfully or yours sincerely. So that's so those are the different ways. Just don't finish off that email with nothing, and then so don't do that. And please beware of emoticons. Okay, now this is a point I want to put in, because business emails, we are, especially with the more neutral and the more friendly emails you're going to send, beware of emoticons, emojis, and all that sort of thing. Because if not, it could be a bit too, it's not professional. Unless you know the people really well, avoid those at all costs. It might be good for your WhatsApp messages, but not for a business email. Not if you want to be taken seriously and you want to look professional. So avoid those. Yeah, it's fine once you know each other, and it's a different medium, emails. Okay, so Denise, thank you so much for sharing my video. Genevieve, I'm so glad you liked it. Not sure whether at this point you're leaving, but thank you so much for your time. Now, finally, as I say, don't leave that email without saying kind regards, best wishes, take care, whatever. Then use a sensible signature. Have a very good signature. Now, if you're working in a company, companies have certain protocols. They have certain ways you need to put your signature. It could be you have to have your signature with your job title, the name of your department, your direct line, your email address, and whatever. But if you're not in a company that has that strict policy, think about how you want people to respond. Make it easy for them to find how to respond to you. Okay, people don't always click the reply, but make it look professional. Say who you are. If you want people to look at your website, if you want them to look at your social media, say for example a LinkedIn profile, then put it in. Put it in as a sort of an add-on. So you've got your name, your title, name of the company, and the way for them to contact you. Maybe they don't just want to email you. Maybe they want to pick up a telephone and call you. So can they do that? Give them a direct line, give them the switchboard number, whatever it is. Just make it look professional. As I say, if you're working for a company, you probably already have that email signature already set up for your clients to see that. but it's no harm even getting used to that for yourselves, so that if you're new to work, if you're new to the world of work, or you're setting up as a freelancer, or you're setting up as a self-employed person, get into that that routine, that habit of having a good signature, so that it looks professional and people know that you are serious. So, you know, it doesn't have to be too long, but think about what you want to do with that one. So those are my 6 tips for email etiquette. I hope you found those useful. Genevieve, thank you so much. You got my attention with the useful tips. So let's recap on what these 6 tips are. First of all, get the right salutation. Yeah, absolute must. Think about your reader. Think about how formal your email is going to be. Do you know them? Do you know them? Yes, but you still need to look professional. Or are they great friends? And you can write in a more informal way. But whichever way, think about that, and always say, address the email with their name first. Some people, for example, say you don't need to put dear, and some people, will say, oh dear, they say, well, now in business we just use the name, and that's fine if that is how you'd like to do, straight to the point. John, Tony. Fine, good, you can do that. I have always got used to saying dear, and I like doing that, but you have different ways. You can, as I say, you can do hello and hi, or just go straight to their name. But okay, if they're formal, no, it has to be dear so-and-so, dear Mr. or whatever. The second point is to keep your paragraphs short. Keep your emails looking good visually. Make them readable. Don't fill everything up into one block, so it makes it really difficult for someone to read, because it's also very easy to ignore it, because they'll say far too much information, and we all have too many emails as we get in our inbox. We really don't want to have tons, so you need to space it out and make sure you do that. The third one, is stick to one topic. Tip 3, stick to one topic. If you have various things you need to say, which are different topics, make it into a separate email, because don't forget, you've got a subject line. So it's easy for that person to refer to that subject line if they need to go back to that email thread. So if you have a project and you have a number of points to raise under that project heading, that's fine. But if you're talking about a project, you want a couple of days off, you need to talk about something else, no, don't put it all in one email. Your boss or your colleague is not going to read it all. It's just, no, that's too much. And then they'll think, well, what am I supposed to respond to? Always think of your reader, not you. It's always your reader you're thinking about. Tip 4, capital letters. Capital letters is always important. Do not write your message in everything in capitals. You're not shouting at your recipient, your reader. You're telling them a nice thing. I'm just going to stop for a second, because Rosie's just said, just a thought, for a busy person, isn't it better to receive one email containing 4 different questions rather than 4 emails? Not necessarily, because if you think about it, if you've got 4 different emails, 4 different topics to raise, what's going to happen with that email? That email, Rosie, is going to end up being incredibly long. And if you think about how many emails people receive, they're not going to read long emails. They're going to want to see a short email. They're more likely to see different, because what they look at their email thread, they'll look at the subject line. What is going to attract your attention is the subject line. They're not going to read, before they even get to the email message, it's a subject. So if that subject is important, they'll go to that. If I'm asking for a day off, yeah, fine. But, even if you put that in the same email, they're not going to read it. So no, it's important, because otherwise the email becomes far too long. So I'm a real believer in breaking it down. And it is better email etiquette. You could try and see whether you get the response you want from your reader. But I would say no, more often than not, they don't want such long emails. Capital letters again, so don't shout at your reader. Keep it small, but capitalize every letter at the beginning of a sentence. You start a new sentence, new paragraph, capital letter, please. Then make sure that all the I's, referring to I, the subject I, is in capitals. All your acronyms are in capitals. And also the names of countries, the names of cities, the names of departments have to be in capital letters, the first letter, not the whole word. So always make sure you've got that. And then tip 5, signing off your emails. Don't just end your email, sign off. Think about how you're going to do that. Yours sincerely, yours faithfully. Kind regards, best wishes, or have a great day if you know the person, or take care, so that's, or, see you soon, or, whatever you want. But again, it's the formality. The most common ones, the neutral ones, are kind regards, regards, best wishes. Choose the ones that you like, that you're comfortable with, and do it. Another thing I always say to my clients is, if you already receive a number of emails from other users in English, maybe they're native speakers, maybe they're more proficient users of English, have a look at how they end their emails and see what they do. And if you like the way they've ended that email, then follow them, and just say, oh, that sounds good, I think I'll use that. And then you have a template, you have a copy of something that you can use. Finally, make sure that you have a good signature. No emojis, no emoticons, don't want a smiley face. I just want the right signature, and also any contact details if you feel that that is what your reader will need to contact you. Make it easy. Make it as easy for them to get hold of you, to contact you as you can. Don't give them an excuse not to contact you. So it always is, and some people need to, and especially if you're the first time you're writing to a client, or to and you want them to see what you've done, and maybe you have a good website, maybe you have a great LinkedIn profile. Let them see it, because they'll have a look first, and then they might reply to you. I get a lot of, for example, emails from people asking to write on my blog. You will have seen some of the guest posts. Now, initially what I'll do is I'll see their signature, because they'll go, hi, but if they've sent me their website, they've sent me what they've written, then I will look first to see whether what they have to offer is something that would be of value to my readers, to you, to my fellow EWATers. So we'll do research. That's my way of doing some research. If I've got nothing and I have no idea who you are, I'm not going to really pay attention. I'll just, put your email in my trash. So there you have it, everyone. 6 tips. So for business email etiquette, let me know how you get on. Tell me whether this is something that you use. What other tips have you got that you've used or that you've learned from other people that you have incorporated in your business email writing in English? I'd love to know. And then just share with me. Now, Rakesh, I'm going back to what Rakesh asked me right at the beginning of this lesson. He was talking about having a WhatsApp group to have more discussions with Wednesdays with EWAT. Now, that's a great point. But Rakesh, at the moment, I'm working with the Facebook page. I am planning to have a Facebook group where it will be for my fellow EWATers who sign up and my regulars, and I am planning to do that. So I'm more inclined to use Facebook instead of WhatsApp. So that is something that I will be doing. Now, if any of you think a Facebook group for Wednesdays with EWAT or for EWAT in general would be good for particularly everyone who wants to focus particularly in the Wednesdays with EWAT, then let me know, because we could set up that group and it becomes a discussion forum where we can share ideas and exchange ideas. But let me know, that's something that I'm thinking about introducing in the autumn. So I hope this was helpful. Today's class, lesson 31, business emails. Thank you so much for your time. I hope if you like this email, if you like this lesson, please give me a thumbs up and please share the video with anyone who you think would find the tips useful for them in business emails, and let them know, encourage them to join EWAT, because Vun, you're saying you'd call for a poll to be made, right, about the Facebook group. That's what you're thinking, Vun? That's a great idea. I might do that. Good idea. But anyway, in the meantime, if you haven't subscribed to the EWAT community, if you haven't joined the EWAT community, please do so. You can do that looking at the Facebook page, sign up, and you'll get this and you'll get all the other bonuses I have to offer you, including the blog posts that come directly into your inbox. But in the meantime, this is me, Shanti Kumaraswamy Street, saying ciao for now, ciao from London. And thank you so much for joining me on this class and for interacting. And I do hope you take on board those tips. Let me know how you get on with your business English writing, and share with me all your ideas and tips. And so I will see you next week. Now, next week being the 26th of July for lesson 32. Drop me a line if there's any particular topic you'd like me to cover. Otherwise, I will come up with another idea and share that with you in good time so we can enjoy the next lesson. This is me, ciao for now. I hope you have a wonderful week. Take care and keep working on that English. All right, guys? Take care. Ciao for now, everyone.